food and medicine. So I've just kind of limited myself here to try and keep roughly to time, but these are a few things that I would say are really good to try this year if you're growing herbs, particularly for kind of the time in which we're living. So the top left is chamomile, which has a lot of different uses. So it's a really lovely digestive herb. It's a bitter herb, which is really good for stimulating bile and getting everything going. And bitter is something we've trained out of our diet and need to start having more of again. It's also a lovely sedative, so very calming, and very good for kind of stress and anxiety, so really supporting the nervous system. Then the bottom left is marshmallow. This is a really lovely plant for softening and soothing. So it contains a huge amount of something called mucilage, which all plants contain, but some plants contain it in much higher concentrations. And you can use the flowers, you can use the leaves, and also the root. So you can make a really lovely tea which will soothe a sore throat, can be good for dry coughs, can be good for things like bronchitis, but can also be good for soothing any kind of digestive discomfort, as well as using it to make an oil for the skin. Then we've got thyme, which I always describe thyme as all the antis. So it's antibacterial, it's antifungal, it's antiseptic, antimicrobial, and it's a really lovely plant to have. Again, if you've got a cold or if you've got flu, can be good for feverish conditions. And it's something that we call an expectorant, which is something that's really good at getting like phlegm and gunk out of your respiratory system. So if you are feeling very bunged up and congested, thyme is very good at helping your body expel all that mucus and gunky stuff. It's also very warming, so if you are out and about in your gardens at this time of year, it's still quite cold, so having something like thyme before you go out will help get your circulation going and warm you up. Then there is our good friend at the bottom right, lemon balm. That's actually a picture from Cordwainer's garden. And lemon balm is a really lovely thing for stress and for anxiety. It's a very uplifting plant. It's a really lovely one for bees as well. And you can use this to make a tea, you can add it into salads. It's another good antiviral. And you can make a cold infusion from it as well. You can have it hot or cold. And the more you kind of crop it, the more you cut it back, the longer season you'll get. So it tends to flower kind of later in the spring. And once it's flowered, it loses a lot of its flavour. So it's a good one to pick a lot before it's flowered. Also spreads like a weed, so it's a really good one to create lots of new plants from. If you've grown it once, you'll have it everywhere, and you can just dig those up and pass them on to other people. Then we have got top right is Echinacea, so something that you'll probably find very difficult to buy now, because anyone who has a little bit of herbal knowledge would have bought it all up. But it's a really good immune system stimulant, and it's been kind of proven to shorten the duration of cold or flu, and something that you can take preventatively. So a good one if you're feeling a bit run down, or you're feeling like you've been under stress and your immune system is maybe not at its best, then that's a lovely one to try. It's quite hard to grow enough of it unless you have a really big space to get a big harvest, but it does produce these very attractive flowers that you can enjoy. And the final one is something that you might not necessarily be growing, but something that I imagine you'll be able to find, definitely if you're in an urban space, is elderflower. So something that grows, we have loads of it here in Hackney, which is good, and something that you can pick usually around May time. I have seen some flowers starting to form, but it's usually May when we first we go out and pick. And it's a lovely sweet herb to have. It's also very good for coughs and colds. And in the past, it was sort of given this nickname of the kind of country medicine cabinet. So something that is used for a lot of different things. And although it seems slightly counterintuitive, elderflower is also a really good thing if you suffer from hay fever. So seasonal allergies, I would say try and have some elderflower, and also some nettle actually is a good one for hay fever or just kind of general allergies.